Ladies and gents, PepperBelly back again with some more Ground Branch. Now, it's been a while since I've actually covered the progress of this game's development, since May, I believe, actually, when I originally talked about and showcased the tech preview. And since then, well, I mean, the last video I also uploaded was the epitome of moving controls, but that was a completely irrelevant thing to the actual progress of this game. So, I'm going to be talking about what changes have actually been made as of late, because progress has been slow, but also fast in a kind of weird, kind of hybrid way there. What I mean by slow is that surface aspects of the game, at face value, what consumers are most likely going to see, there hasn't been a ton of progress. Behind the scenes, where coding and programming are come into play, there has been a lot being accomplished. There's actually a contributor who's been working on the AI for the game, and he's been making insane headway in that field, and it looks impressive what he's been able to come up with, showing us like some of the maps and the nodes and the way he's actually been making the AI function and use cover or utilize cover and all of that. It's really great. So I mean, the progress that's being made there is great. So again, all the stuff is generally in the background, not really at surface value quite yet. However, there has been some changes, which you can probably notice right now if you haven't actually been paying attention, or if you've been looking, or if you're familiar with my last Ground Branch video and what it looked like. They actually changed the UI, the main menu. You can see we have a nice selection of options here. And we actually have this option here, which is Show News. And if I actually click on it, it brings up the website, the main website. You can see the small update from November 18th, where they discuss a few things, and you can actually see a ton of information. It's running a little bit slow, as you could probably expect. I mean, you can even see some concept art for that HUD. That was actually, like, this is the actual concept art for the HUD we have here now. And this is the server browser concept HUD, and then you got, of course, the UI screen for customizing your operator, which isn't implemented yet, which is unfortunate because it looks damn sexy. I mean, the UI looks really good. The screens they have for the customization of your operator looks far better than what we have right now, but for most of everything, it's been completely tweaked. And of course, you also have the new tanker map, which has been going through development steadily over the testing updates that have been released. Because you have Ground Branch Stable, which would be the default, which is 1008. And this is Ground Branch 1009, but it's in the testing branch. So you would actually like opt into it, and it's constantly changing. It'll update every now and again. They'll push out newer and newer updates. And then once they finally get everything finalized, then they kind of put it into a stable version. So then 1008 would be updated to 1009. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the settings, because the main menu, as you can see, has gotten a whole overhaul. The controls are actually a lot nicer now. And it looks pretty much the same. Like, this looks very familiar, but it's neater. It looks a lot neater. You can use your default settings, default bindings. You can apply the settings, discard settings, which is nice. I like the idea that you can change everything around and be like, oh, I want to discard it. And you can do that. Then you have your normal sensitivity, your engaged sensitivity, and your engaged sensitivity with a magnified optic. I love the amount of options you have here. It's going to be, I mean, that's great. Most games don't even give you this, and most players request it immensely. They want to be able to have the ability to make iron sights, which is the default FOV value for, I mean, technically engaged sensitivity and normal sensitivity should be the same if your FOV isn't altering using your iron sights. But if you're using a magnified optic, which again, your default FOV doesn't change. But when you're actually aiming through the magnified optic, this perception of sensitivity there is a lot higher because it is magnified. You're looking at something closer, so moving your mouse a little bit translates to significant movement within the optic itself, but the FOV around your screen, that hasn't changed because it's using a picture-in-picture scope, or more commonly known as 3D scopes, which isn't exactly the most accurate way of calling them, or referring to it, shouldn't be altered. So it's kind of nice. Of course, you got your mouse smoothing, which if you're smart, you'll probably disable that. You can invert your mouse, and this is what I absolutely love right here. They have an FOV slider. What I absolutely love about this FOV slider is how it shows you the horizontal and vertical values, because most people aren't aware of this. Now, this is actually something I became aware of when I was playing Rainbow Six Siege and Star Wars Battlefront, that normally you think, oh yeah, I'm going to set it to 90 because you're thinking 90 is horizontal. You're like, yeah, 90 horizontal FOV, that's what people want. But those games do it in vertical. So if I were to actually select 90 vertical FOV, that's 121 horizontal FOV. It's actually more specifically 120. You can kind of You can actually play with it a little bit to get it really close. But that's essentially what it is. A 90 horizontal, which is what most people expect, is about a 58 or 59 vertical. There's a big difference there that people need to realize. When a game does vertical FOV versus horizontal, there is a huge difference in those numbers, what that actually means. So 73 is give or take about 105, 106 horizontal, which is what most source engine games utilize, which is like one of the best, I would say, FOVs you can acquire, because it just gives you that nice sweet spot where it doesn't look too warped and it's not obviously too narrow. So it's this nice sweet spot where you can have a ton of peripheral vision without going a little bit over the top. 121 FOV would be like what normal, I mean, people can kind of see in 180 degrees, right? Like if you hold out your arms to your side, you can see your hands in your peripheral vision. 120 would be a little bit shorter and you can see them a little bit clearer. So, I mean, you got to realize you're trying to fit that FOV on a smaller flat screen, so it's going to warp the image the higher you go, depending on the game. Games do it differently. Of course, this is all built on Unreal Engine 4, so I haven't actually played with it that high, but I'm imagining it would kind of warp the screen. But anyway, that's pretty much it, and I can just discard the changes. Then you have your gameplay tab, which has currently nothing, because nothing is here yet. And then you have your video tab, which is exactly the same. Now, the thing I don't really understand, though, is why FOV wouldn't just be in the video tab. It's in the controls. It's a minor thing, not really a big deal, but I mean, typically it's a video control option. Now, I have my view distance set to far. I have my texture quality set to epic. I actually play with this a lot to kind of balance out the performance. In anti-aliasing in this game, I'm not sure why, but Unreal Engine games, again, this is also prevalent in Squad, seem to have a problem with the stock anti-aliasing where it just makes everything look blurry as hell. I don't really know what it is. It takes away the sharpness. Sure, it smooths out the jaggies, but I mean, it makes everything look so blurry. And I'm not entirely sure why that is, and I can probably demonstrate it once I get in-game with actual foliage environments. You'll see, like, trees and leaves and very specific things tend to look a lot muddier as a result of that. It's kind of strange. And then, of course, you got your audio options, so you have your master music, sound effects, and your voice. I like how you can adjust these and adjust the master volume. Every game needs to do this. It's kind of a shame when you have a game that's like just master volume and just voice, or just music, and that's it. Like, they just give you one or two. Like, no, you need to give me every single option, because I don't know about you, but some games have really low voice, and I like to lower the music and the sound effects so I can hear the damn characters in the game actually talking better. So, yeah, that option is kind of nice to have. But anyway, operator screen looks exactly the same. There's, like, no difference right now. It's kind of buggy. The operator screen is actually excessively buggy. I don't know exactly why that is. Well, I mean, I do know, because they're going through different builds of Unreal Engine. They're constantly having to develop and change things, so naturally it's going to kind of have issues. But 1008 is actually kind of fixed. 1009, obviously, since it's going through testing phases and testing builds, it's not exactly as stable. It gets kind of messed up. But, yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. Now, one of the things I actually love about this game, if you look at my arm patch, you can actually add customized arm patches. So, like, what I have here, these are all the defaults, right? You can have, like, remove your patch. You can remove it, or you can have your Blackfoot Studios patch, your American/British flag, and you got your blood type, and you can have all these cool stuff. And then right here at the bottom is everything I added. So I even have my logo here. I completely forgot about that. So you can see I have the desert camouflage. I have the Canadian dark kind of cadpat, and you got the more vibrant coyote style, and you got the navy, and then again another coyote style. Now, it looks good. Like, it actually looks really good in the game. I actually had to make these, which was not easy. I had to go and find, like, really high quality images of actual, because I mean, I could have just took a Canadian flag that looks like that, you know, just a regular image, and then pasted it in, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to make it look like an actual patch with threading. So as you can see here, I have to actually find real patches, like high quality images of real patches, and then crop them to look nice and fit them to the correct size that'll fit on your arm. And then I ended up adding them myself. So now, because, you know, Canadian Forces, man, and of course you can even have my friggin' logo in there. Like, look at that. Because I'm, you know, egotistical like that. But Yeah, so I'm actually really happy with the Canadian flag variants that I was able to add. So you can actually add anything you want. Now, obviously, I'm imagining some people will put like Hello Kitty bullshit in here. I guess people will do that. I mean, that's one of the problems with allowing people to have their own, to upload their own like custom arm patches and decals and vinyls, whatever. But I mean, if you're a serious player like myself who likes to kind of have realistic representations, then you can like throw in your own flag and be like, hell yeah, Canadian, what's up? Now, one of the aspects I'm going to talk about that's actually kind of bugged is the platforms. You can see I go here, taking a little while. Yeah. Yeah, so I want to like go here and then add pouches, and it doesn't really register properly. Like I'm clicking, you can see like they don't show up. There's a lot of bugs in this test build. I mean, sometimes it won't even register or load up your correct player model, which is kind of annoying, but you know, it happens. Anyway, so if you actually click play up here, or if you go to the main menu and you click play here, it'll bring you to the same screen. So you have your multiplayer and you have your solo. Go to multiplayer, you can create a game which isn't available yet, and then you have server browser, which brings you here. And you can see there's 2 currently available test servers. This is actually the official one. I believe this is actually hosted by someone in the community. And it has the depot map. And this one's the tanker ship. The tanker ship map is currently being worked on. It's not complete, but it's getting close. It looks really, really good, actually. Even got an optimization passover already, which bumped its performance up for me 30 additional frames. I was getting roughly 35, 40 frames to 45 frames on that map. Once the developer did an optimization pass on tanker ship, that performance jumped up to beyond 60 FPS. I was actually pleasantly surprised. I was like, holy crap, it's a pretty insane bump in performance. If you go to solo, you have your training. So you can choose solo training, which is like just the various maps that are available, or you can do time run, which of course they brought Kill House back, which I'm really happy about because this is what I loved running all the time, was the Kill House map. And then you can select a mission, which is just the benchmarks right now. You have the nature area at dark, and then you have nature area in the morning, or during the day, and you got testing, which is currently empty, I suppose. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and take a look. Actually, hang on a second. Solo training. We'll go to the tanker ship map, because now it has a daylight and night map, as you can see. I'm going to show you a little bit of the progress that's been made here, because you probably haven't seen it, because I haven't shown it. The initial, what it looked like before, was quite hilarious. Like, there was no texturing done whatsoever. Okay, so here's the tanker map. And, okay, so it actually loaded my character correctly, which is good, except my face doesn't seem to be loaded. Hang on. Okay, no, it's there. That's another problem that happens, where, like, if you put on a balaclava and a helmet, which you used to be able to do, I'm pretty sure you guys saw my gameplay from back in the day, you were able to do that. Now you can't. If you want to put on a helmet and a balaclava, it just doesn't work together anymore for some reason. I'm imagining when the game's actually released, that'll be rectified. And the funny thing about that, too, is that if you actually put on a helmet with a balaclava and then the balaclava disappears, so does your face. So suddenly you just have goggles and eyeballs, but then, like, everything that the balaclava covered just disappears. Just kind of amusing. But anyway. So this has gone through some pretty extensive changes. Like, a ton of changes. Like, right now I'm getting 62 frames per second, capped out because I'm recording. Probably would be higher than this if I wasn't recording, so keep that in mind. And of course there's this shadow glitch, which you're probably noticing. Yeah, there it is. Like the little... I'm not sure just because the shadow quality is set to maximum, but that obviously is going to be fixed at some point. Ignore that. Pretend it isn't there, because obviously this is a testing build and things are subject to change quite a bit. So, this map and the depot map are the maps that are kind of being designed for early access. So once this game hits Steam Early Access with multiplayer game modes, the 2 main maps they want to launch with is going to be this one and the Depot All, which is just kind of like an open area, kind of like the nature area, but has some buildings. So I mean, it's good. Like, I mean, I'm not expecting like a lot to come from the early access. Like, I'm kind of just hoping that once the game is released on early access, that a lot of people will buy it, one thing to help fund the development of this game, because it is really an exceptional tactical shooter. I mean, there has not been a game like this ever. Like, in, well, I could say years. Like, you want to think like games like Rainbow Six and Ghost Recon. Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter would probably be, I would say, the latest version of a tactical shooter that was actually, would pass off as a realistic hardcore tactical shooter. That game was released in 2007, I believe, and there hasn't really been anything since, and Ground Branch is kind of like spearheading what is expected in a tactical shooter game. Like, it really is pulling in all these core features that most games just do not have, that make it stand out in a very unique way. And it kind of brings, it's kind of a shame that you would think that most publishers or people would be willing to fund this kind of project. I mean, if I was filthy rich, I would absolutely invest in this project, because I really thoroughly believe that this is an exceptionally unique and well done tactical shooter. You can see the environments are already starting to get some objects and assets available to look at. Like, you got the kitchen in here. It's really cool. The attention to detail that they're actually putting into these environments is really nice. I mean, this is not even anywhere near being done either. That's one thing to keep in mind. Like, at first, I believe he was working on the engine room and all these rooms were empty. And, I mean, even have bunks. Like, this is just, every time I run through these environments, man, like, special forces and tanker ships seem to kind of go hand in hand. You always think of, like, you know, special ops raiding ships. Just such a common thing, right? So it's kind of funny how we have a tanker ship here, and then it's just getting me all super hyped for the idea of actually being able to kill AI on this map and conduct missions, or like terrorist hunt style missions or whatever. And if you look there, that is Door Kickers. That is a fun game as well. It's like a top-down tactical shooter, close quarters, dealing with... I've showed gameplay in the past of it, actually. Really, really good game. Does things differently, but it's really, really good at what it does. It's really fun, too, and it's insanely addicting, but it's a whole other video. Most that game's been out for a while, actually. So, just showing off the map. Looks pretty good. I'll go to the bridge after, to just kind of like show you guys what the bridge looks like, which is insanely detailed and looks pretty good. Of course, you have all the bunks. I'm just picturing, like, you know, those moments coming in here and just shooting dudes in their bunks. Just kill them when they're sleeping. Because, you know, Geneva Conventions, no thanks. I don't care about them anymore. Just kidding. But anyway, the bridge should be, I think, up here. Oh wait, no, this is actually way above the bridge. Okay, well, I don't know. Yeah, this is the bridge. Okay. So, I mean, it looks great, right? Like, come on, guys. Like, the lighting, that skybox, the water. It's all impressive looking. Especially with, like, it's kind of like a sunrise / sunset. Anyway, here's the bridge. Nicely detailed. You even have your maps over here, which is kind of cool. And then you have the captain station, or whatever, the person who actually controls and drives this thing with a tiny steering wheel. That's what I find kind of funny. You think of ships with, like, massive, like, steering wheels, or whatever the hell you want to call them. There's an actual word or term for them I can't really remember right now. But then, of course, you just have this tiny little steering wheel steering this massive-ass tanker ship. You got your GPS. So, I mean, the attention to detail is quite nice, and they toned back the bloom, because I remember before, you'd stand in here like this, and you would be looking out, and you can see how it's kind of bright, but you wouldn't be able to actually see outside from here, and now you kind of can. You can look down and be able to see the surface of the ship. Before, it was, like, overly excessive, and they seem to have rectified that, so it's kind of nice now. It's a lot better. We'll go to the engine room next, which is where most of the work has been done. It should be down. I mean, I'll just keep heading down. Want to get to the engine room, just keep going down the stairs. Kind of straightforward. A lot of floors to this ship, so I mean, it's kind of awesome. There's no denying that. There's going to be so much potential. You can already hear the sounds of the engines coming through. So now we're on the deck level, I believe. The main deck? Yeah, okay, so this is the main deck, and then after that, it kind of, you go down one more flight of stairs, and it takes you to the engine room. Which would be right here. You run down these stairs, and it's like, bam! Oh, look at the size of that engine. My god. That thing looks kind of awesome. I mean, it's huge. Like, imagine actually sitting here and looking at an engine like this that's powering the ship, like, it's pretty freaking awesome. and this takes you out to the front, or the back actually. This is the stern. I believe there's actually some puddles of water in some areas, but like, yeah, there's a lot of attention to detail in this map. And again, it's not anywhere near being finalized, like right here. Look at that water reflection, that lighting looks so damn good. Everything about it's pretty damn impressive. It's a really nice looking game, and again, it's not even anywhere near being completed. Now, I have the anti-aliasing turned down, which is kind of what I explained because it makes things look blurry. Now, I'm going to actually give a demonstration of that just because, why the hell not? We'll go to the actual nature area because this is where it's more noticeable. Here you'll actually be able to see the difference. Okay, so spawning in here, you can see that some of the image looks fairly sharp, right? It's not too bad. You can make out details and foliage at a distance, and it looks kind of good. I mean, there's still some kind of things popping in here and there because it's loading. Probably one issue I have with this game is just how long it can take to load some things. Like, it almost seems like the screen freezes. Like, I have no idea if the loading screens, whether or not when I'm talking through the loading screens, if you don't hear me talking through the loading screens or loading screens aren't present, it's because I have to crop it out of the video because it freezes the recording because the game and everything freezes. I don't know if that's actually the case. It may have not done that, but anyway. So if I actually turn up the anti-aliasing, man, I can't even speak. So we put it to epic and we apply it. Now you're going to see that everything looks blurrier. See that? I mean, it doesn't look terrible, but I mean, it just has this level of Vaseline smeared on your screen that just makes everything kind of look blurry. Like, the sharpness just goes away. And again, this is not the developer's fault. This is an Unreal Engine 4 discrepancy. I don't know why this is the case with Unreal Engine 4, where a lot of developers have been... I mean, almost every game I've looked at that's utilized Unreal Engine 4 has this problem. I'm not entirely sure why that is, but I do not like it. I like anti-aliasing that smooths out jaggies without blurring anything. And it's kind of funny because I remember a lot of people used to complain about FXAA, which NVIDIA came out with, which is an anti-aliasing method that barely even impacts performance at all. If anything, maybe 1%. And it smooths out jaggies. People would say that that would look blurry. And it's like, I'm laughing in their faces because that looks not anywhere near as blurry as this. This just looks like a complete mess. Like, it still looks good. Like, don't get me wrong. But I mean, it's just that kind of smeared, blurry look that I don't really like. And I mean, watch, once I go back, I don't know if you'll be able to notice it within the YouTube video, because obviously YouTube compression and all that stuff. But once I turn it off, you'll notice that everything just looks noticeably sharper. In fact, you'll actually be able to see tree leaves moving in the distance. Like, if you actually look at trees that are further away, you'll actually be able to see the wind blowing through those individual leaves, those branches, that are not present when you have anti-aliasing on, because it just makes everything look clouded and smudged together, which is just not really good. So I don't know exactly what that is. Epic, fix that. Get on that shit. I don't know why that's happening within Unreal Engine 4, and it seems to be only exclusive to Unreal Engine 4, so... I mean, come on, Epic. Do something. You have an incredible looking engine here by default. I know you can fix that and make it look even better. But yeah, that's pretty much all that's really changed within Ground Branch, guys. I know it kind of looks limited. It's kind of just like, oh, a tanker map. Hooray. Which, honestly, is awesome. Let's just be honest. Like, I'm not going to discredit the achievements in completing that map. The map looks great, and it'll play freaking amazingly once you actually get AI and multiplayer available for people to experience the game, especially when early access rolls out, which is rumored. Now, this is an ETA, guys. I'm not going to specify a date because one of the developers kind of just said earliest, and I'm talking like earliest. I was kind of hoping the end, like sometime in December, early access, but earliest January 2016. So like next month, and there's no set time for that. Obviously, like that's just kind of a huge guesstimation on the developer's part. So do not think that that means early access is coming out in January. They have a lot of work ahead of them to be able to get this game polished. They are aware of that. They're working as hard as they can, and I thoroughly appreciate the efforts that these developers are putting in. The two of them, plus all the contributors who are also helping in the background as well. Let's not forget them, because they also are a very important and crucial aspect of the development of this game. So I'm really liking the way this game is shaping up. Has a long way to go, obviously, and I really am looking forward to it being completed because, like I said, this is probably one of the best looking games, playing games too, I have experienced in a very, very long time. The potential here is immense, immense to be one of the best tactical shooters like ever released in the last decade, potentially. And I'm serious when I make that claim. It is amazing. And it's limited right now, obviously, but once you get AI in here, like even if I had just a simple terrorist hunt mode where there's AI in the map here and I was able just to go through and just, you know, shoot them and kill them, it'd be kind of great, right? Like, multiplayer is great too, which I only got to experience for literally 30 seconds, or more realistically, like 2 minutes. And I got killed, and then we killed each other, or kill traded, and then the server crashed, and that was it. That was a long time ago, though. That was back, like, in build 1007, I think. That was a long time ago. I haven't been able to play multiplayer since because the servers just do not function as intended, and there's just not a lot of people. Well, I mean, the servers have been kind of rectified now, but I haven't been able to experience it myself because nobody's playing the damn game. And we're all over the, you know, we're all separated. Everyone who has backed this game so far, we're kind of, like, in different time zones, so getting together and being able to set up something is a lot harder than people would anticipate or expect, which is, you know, is natural. It happens, especially with this small player base we have right now. Most people just pop in to test it, look at it, and go, ooh, yeah, everything's pretty and looking great. And that's pretty much it. That's all I've been doing. I play the Kill House mission every now and again because I like just popping in and being able to experience an awesome gameplay in terms of just this. Just the gameplay itself, and clearing the shoot house is insanely fun. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I'm going to wrap it up. My name's been PepperBelly. Thank you guys for joining me today. And what I haven't said in a long time, I usually don't, and I don't really care, but if you like this video, please hit the like button, because that actually does help out, believe it or not. And if you didn't like the video, there's a button for that too. And if you enjoyed the video and you're new, be sure to subscribe for more follow-up videos for games similar to this. I'll see you guys on the next one.